Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final session of day 3. I can't believe we're here. Really crazy, but I'm excited for this little bonus session because this isn't going to be a long one, but it's going to be a really important one because it's all about protecting your business, which is one of the most important things. Luckily, Travefy is your friend in this. We are here to help. So I'm going to talk about how Travefy helps protect your business with secure forms. So this is going to be a good one. I think this is a must. If you are using forms, you probably will know a lot of what I'm talking about, but there's going to be a lot of really great forms I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you as well. But if you are newer to Travefy and you're not as familiar with the forms, this is for you because I've seen throughout the week a lot of questions too on, okay, this is cool, but is this safe for my client? Is this secure? It is. And I will explain to you why and how. So before I did get all the way in, just a couple things is one, this is being recorded. So totally get it. Again, we're at the end. I think this is like the ninth session. It's probably even more than that. No, I think it's like it's a lot. So we totally get it. We're recording all of them. They're going up on our YouTube channel as well. And if you are here on Facebook Live or you're here on Zoom, thank you again for bearing with us through the craziness of this week. But we are so happy to have both of you here. We are watching both. So we are going to be live Q&A right through the session. So whether you're asking questions in here in Zoom or if you're on Facebook Live, we got you covered and we're seeing everything. It's almost like you're both in the same place, but just in two separate areas. But you're in the same party. So we will be watching those, getting those questions answered. If we aren't able to get to them, because again, this will be a shorter session, then feel free, reach out to our support team by emailing us at professional@travefy.com or send us a live chat in your account as well. So we'll get your question answered whether you go to us there or here. So we'll help you out. The third thing I want to mention is go to the Facebook group. If you aren't part of our Facebook group, you should join that. If you just go to the Travefy official Facebook group and join us there and just keep the conversation going. It's been a lot of fun so far this week. So make sure that you are in there. But okay, let me take a sip of water and get this show on the road. Because we know we're getting down to the final few left of these. But what I want to talk about today is the forms. But the beauty of Travefy's Form Builder is not only that it's very easy to use, but it's also really intuitive to help you organize your client responses and details that come out of those forms. So I'm not going to go into it very much in depth today or in this session, but you've seen in previous sessions how much the CRM side keeps all those forms in there. So if you haven't seen that yet, I really recommend go check out one of our earlier sessions on CRM stuff. In fact, I did one on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? But it was with the new agent series in CRM. Highly recommend checking that out. But the most important thing about these forms, it's not just that you're collecting information really easily, because that's great, but it's safe and it's secure. So Travefy is end-to-end PCI compliant, which, if you've ever wondered what that means, I literally looked it up before this, payment card industry compliance. I had someone ask me that one time and I was like, I don't really know what it means. That's what it means. So that is, if you are using these forms for credit card authorization, it is PCI compliant. And I gotta say, Travefy is, there's not many out there that are actually truly PCI compliant. I mean, we go through rigorous, auditing and making sure every year we have to do stuff to make sure we upkeep this PCI compliance. The other thing that's really nice is we do have encryption as well. So with our forms, you're able to not only just collect credit card authorization information, you're also able to get things like ask for their passport, get a picture of their passport to upload, ID information, stuff like that is in a safe and secure way to get it. Now, one thing that I just want to show really quickly, and I can drop this in the chat as well, is this. We have this FAQ here that really lays it out, and I highly recommend checking this out because I know there's just so many questions that you could have about like, oh, GDPR compliant. that kind of stuff. So here is all of the stuff that we have. And as you can see, again, those big ones, the PCI compliance, GDPR, encryption, things that I don't get, that I just know it's good. So a lot of buzzwords, but this is also handy if your clients ever ask and they are like, is this okay? I would share this with them, and you can share these words with them as well and say, yes, this is the most safe and secure. I mean, it's okay, we will not judge, but have any of you had been over the phone getting credit card information, writing it down on a post-it? Yeah, that's not PCI compliance. This is. So that's why this is just so, so important. And stress that to your clients too. Like, be like, I have done my research. This is the safest way to be getting this information. So all that aside, the other thing that I want to show you, I am going to go into Travefy and I'm going to show you how you make sure you set up your forms safe and secure. But the best part of this whole session isn't necessarily just me talking about things. It's literally that we're going to give you a lot of templates. So some of the templates, I'm going to show you how to access these after this. They're all going to be in Marketplace, but we're going to make sure that you leave, that not only do you leave the session feeling confidently secured and equipped with what you need, but I also want you to leave with what you need as well. So we're going to make sure that you get, and here's some of the forms we recommend. And you might not want ours, and that's okay. You might want to go make them yourself, which you totally can. But what we think are the must-have form templates is client intake form with passport info. That's important to have. Credit card authorization, of course. Terms and conditions. Travel insurance waiver. Travel planning agreement if you do fees. And then additional traveler profiles. So think of additional traveler profiles like, oh, I have cruise clients. So you probably ask them different things. Like you want different preferences, different information. And then maybe for your all-inclusive, it's just a little different. So there's a lot of these forms in Marketplace again. So even though we might not have created some of them, other people have. And that's the great thing about this, that there's just so many in there. And again, I'll show you how to access them after this. If there's some that I didn't mention, tell us in the chat. Tell us in the chat if there's any that you have that you're like, that is my top form that I use. Let us know there. I'm just really curious, and it'll get the conversation going because, again, there's a lot of forms out there. But again, the most important thing is just that it is securely collected, all of that good stuff in there. So with that, we're going to talk about these forms. I, though, want to jump in Travefy, and I just want to show you how to set up some of these forms. Now, again, I know that in these sessions previously, you've probably seen us do this a lot, setting up all the forms. So I'm not going to go really in depth, but I'm just going to show you the things that you need to make sure you do for it to be safe and secure. And then I'm going to show you how you find all these templates after this as well. So first of all, to create a form, you can kind of do it in a few different places. I mean, you can go in a contact profile, you can go in a trip, you can add forms in here. But I like to personally start in a situation like this where I'm just trying to add my stuff into Travefy. I just will go into my library. And in your library is where you'll be able to see all of the forms that you've built, and then you can create new ones in here as well. So when you're ready to create a new form, let's just go ahead and click new item, and then we're gonna choose form. Now, one thing I will say, so I'm just gonna say example form, but down here, create from template. There's gonna be some templates in here that you could just like pull from. You don't even have to go to Marketplace. Those are there really nicely, and they're already set up, safe and secured. But now one thing that I need to do that's very important before we really kind of go any further in this form is you do need to make sure that you set up two-factor authentication in your forms, or sorry, in your account. Because what this is part of being PCI compliance is that we have to have more password protection on your accounts because you have some secure stuff in there that you don't want somebody getting into your account to do. So you have to set up two-factor authentication. You can do that very easily by clicking on your name, top right-hand corner. And then you're just going to go to account, and you're going to go into your account settings. So in here, you are going to click on security, and then you are going to do two-factor authentication. Now, mine's already set up, but when you set yours up, it's really easy. All it's doing is it's really just going to send your phone number a text, like an SMS text, and it's going to be, I think it's like 6 digits or something, and then you just have to verify. So it's more than just putting in your password. You have to do that too. Now, one thing I will mention is we also can accept emails. So if you are, traveling abroad and, you don't have access to SMS or you're texting, then you can have it set to send you a code to your email. So you do have that option as well, which is very nice. But you just have to set that up. And once you set up two-factor authentication, you can begin doing what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to go back into my library here. Let's go into this example form. Now, what you can do is obviously you are able to add new and then you just click question. So you're just going to add them one by one. You're still going to ask the questions you need. So let's say like name. We'll just throw in a couple things here. Email, whatever you might be collecting. And then you're going to get this next one. I'm going to make this next one the credit card authorization. So when you do need to use the credit card authorization, you have to use this option from this dropdown. You are going to use card authorization. And then you can word this however you want. You can say, enter your payment info here or whatever you would say. But I want to stress this one more time. This is very important. We have seen sometimes people might not realize that that is there, especially if you don't have two-factor authentication. This could be blurred out, but you must use this option because this is what is the PCI compliant part. If you were, let's say, for example, you're like, just give me a short answer. Not good, because then it's not collecting PCI compliance. It's not getting encrypted is what it is. So you do have to make sure, and you'll even see, which I'm going to come back to, this protected field. So hold on to that protected field thought. I'm going to come back to it. But this card authorization is what you'll choose. You now can collect the CVV. Now, we do not automatically turn this on for you. So you do need to say yes if you need that CVV. And then the last thing that you need to make sure you do is down here, you're going to just click this set default authorization. You do have to write in what is this for. You can't send this without writing in what it's for, because think of your client filling out a form and they do a chargeback and the bank's like, well, this form doesn't say what this was even for, this charge was for. So that's why this is important. We are protecting you from chargebacks. So it's really important in the default authorization description to say, I'm just going to say Hawaii trip. Oh my gosh, sorry, I put my caps lock on accident. We'll say deposit. Now this looks a little wild, but yours will look better. But you can really put whatever you want. I've seen some people do too. They'll go like, they'll put deposit. Maybe they'll put like a hotel. They'll list it out, and then you can list out like what it is and all that. So that space is really flexible for what you need to add. But then what you'll do is you're going to add in what that amount is. So let's say it's 1,000, and you can use any currency. So you can use a different currency. Or one option too, if you check this box next to default require, this means that your client is the one who can say how much they want to authorize it for. So this is good if you're doing like payment plans or you're like, oh, here's the full payment, but just pay what you need. That's what that's for if you want to use that. But otherwise, you can keep this turned on. And then the final thing that you want to do is put what is the authorization deadline. What this means, and because it can't be forever, because we cannot store your client's card forever. It's not PCI compliant. So you do have to put that once you get this card from them, the card information, how long do you need it for? So it might be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. You can put that in there. So that's what that means for that right there. So then let's just say, okay, we got everything. We'll go ahead and check this box. Now, to show you something else, Down here, you can see where this electronic signature automatically checked itself when I don't know if you noticed that, but it did that when I chose credit card authorization. Now I'm going to come back to the electronic signature for using for like waivers, things like that. But this electronic signature is always going to be turned on. You can't turn it off because once they put their card information in, we need them to electronically sign their name too. So it's doing everything you would possibly need. Again, just think of it as if you did get a chargeback, what is all the information you need? And we're going to collect it for you. So I'll show you here what this looks like. So if you need to share it with them, you just send it. You can either email it or you can get a link if you've as well, if you've defined like what the script authorization is and all of that. And then you just send it to them. And then when they get it, it will look like this. And then they can add it, or it might be on a full desktop. They can add it. But then once they fill this out, you are going to receive an email letting you know they've filled it out. They also, in return, get an email with a PDF of what they just authorized. So it's kind of like a receipt in a way, and it'll have all the information. So you get the same thing. So let me show you what this looks like, because right before we hopped on here, I did one. So I am going to go into here really quick. Actually, it was in here. So I'll show you from the beginning. I did a response right here, just my pretend person right here. You'll get a response that looks like this. You'll see that it automatically went to this person because they were already in my contacts. But if they're not, you can just assign them or create a new contact from here. But if I go in now to Jane Doe, so if I go into my contacts and let's say I'm on the phone with a supplier, I need to make a payment or I need to pay for it online, I will go in here to her form responses. I will view the response and right here, view details. That's what I'm going to do. And look at that. I had to sign back in really quick. And you don't have to do this every time. It's just if it's been a while, it will make you do that. So don't worry. If you do this a lot, you won't have to like constantly, but it will make sure that you re-sign in every once in a while. And then click view details. And then here's where you can see things. So I'll click this view card number. This is fake. Don't get any special ideas, everybody. But you can see in there how it only stays open for like 60 seconds. And so that is a great way because let's say you're at like a coffee shop and you accidentally walk away, you forget. It's just important. That's why we do that. The other thing you'll notice here is you can delete it. Once you're done, you should delete it. We tell you that right here even. We say, hey, like, just go ahead, delete it. But also, one other thing I want to show you is that PDF that I was telling you about. This is what it looks like. So notice how it has like all of this, but look, you'll see that there's all the electronic signature history documented. So again, think of this as your foolproof way if there was a chargeback or something, or they tried disputing something, you have the records. That's why this is so important. Now, the other thing that I want to show you really quick is what do you do to make sure that like your waivers are secured and maybe when you're collecting passport info. So let me show you that in a form again. So I'm going to just create a new form here. And let's just say this is a waiver. Now, when you're creating a new question, and let's say you are asking for like passport info, you want to go ahead and just select the protected one. So this protected one is pretty versatile. So any type of information you're asking for that needs to be protected will go, you can choose that response type. And basically what that does is then in your account, you will have to, or in their contact profile, if there's like protected information, you have to click on a button to view it. So it just leaves it like not out in the open, basically. So that's how you collect that. If you do need to collect like a passport photo, you can use our contact document upload. This also is going to be completely safe and secure. And again, we've talked about this on many other sessions, so I highly recommend, and there's some forums in Marketplace for passports, but this is pretty cool because this will also put their passport info in the contact field too. So in here, we also can see like the documents. So you can see like a picture of their passport. You can go get all of that. And then you'll see this passport number. See right down there. Here, let me zoom in and how I just like turn it on. That's what I mean by that. So that's how that works. Now to just quickly go back here, if you're creating a waiver, what you want to do is you first do need to add at least one question. So you could even make it text and image. So I actually did that on an example I'll show you here. I put in like text like, I, the party of Stephanie's Travels, has this, and this is what this waiver is for, or this, terms and conditions maybe. And so then I would just leave that all in here. So I'm just going to say details here. And then this is another important thing. This is where your terms and conditions go, or a waiver. Anything that they need to electronically sign their name for, you are going to come right here where it says electronic signature. Click on that. And then you are going to go ahead and put in the terms and conditions in there. When you do that, that is going to show them something like this. This is the template that I'm going to give you. So you can see that I created this just a simple stuff that goes at the top, but then I put all the terms and conditions here. And here's what it looks like. So let's look at this. So let's say we were on our desktop. They would see, they can go through all of this, sign their name. When they do this, they also will receive a PDF copy, just like that credit card authorization. And so do you. So once again, you're getting documents that's literally time-stamping everything. So it's so cool, isn't it? I hope this is like, this is so great. Now, one thing I want to show you is where you can find these free templates at. I will say, though, something that's very important is we definitely recommend you get your legal advice. I know there's a lot of really great lawyers, legal attorneys out there, travel. We've had some of them on our podcast before. We've had Jeffrey Ment, and there's just so many. I just saw him recently, actually. So hello, Jeffrey, if you're watching. But there's just so many options out there. I also will say too, in the comments, you should let us know, like, if there is anybody that you've worked with before in the past, like put their name in there, and it can help someone else out there. But for the marketplace, where you can find all these waivers and see what we are giving you, but also other ones that you could use. If you go into marketplace up at the top, and you go into this training camp bonus content section, you will see some in here. So this passport information form is what I actually put in here. So if you want to grab this, you can look and see all of the information. And then if you want to use this, you are just going to simply click copy to library. And now it's copied, so we can go view it. And here it is. And then here's the best part. You can edit anything you want. So you do not have to keep what's in here. You can edit anything you need, all of that. Like, as you can see, it's a pretty thorough form. So you can use that if you need. Some other ones, though, that I created, let me open them up here, okay, this one we just saw. Credit card authorization. This one is a sample one as well, but it's really nice and easy. And then my last one, that insurance waiver that I was just showing you. Or no, sorry, this is a different one. This is a travel insurance option waiver, where you can put in like, which option do you choose? Okay, what do you all that stuff. So there's a lot of options. But again, even before this, when I was putting this session together, I was in Marketplace and I was looking up, there's so much stuff in here. So if I just clicked on terms and conditions, look at how many there are, and it's really helpful to see what other people are doing. I think that's really great. So I just think Marketplace is just so amazing in there, really helpful things in there. So that was it. I told you this is going to be a quick and easy, but really important one. Now, a couple things, though, that I want to talk about before we wrap up here. Again, get those questions in. As we wrap up, I would just suggest that if you don't get your question answered right in the last couple minutes, head over to our support team, live chat them, or send them an email at professional@travefy.com. But a couple things, though, that I do want to talk about is, now that we're on day 3, you might already know this stuff pretty well, but we're doing one thing new this year for training camp, which is new agent series, where every day we focus on a new topic that really is going to help a new advisor. So if you're new, even if you're new to Travefy, this is probably really helpful, because we kind of go from the ground up and we really start from nothing and show you how to build everything and talk about how and why. So highly recommend those. And then another really fun thing, and I love this slide, is we're doing a social contest. So this has been so much fun to see. These were all from like the first day. We had even so many more. I love looking. I love going at the end of the day. I've done this every day. I go and through and see them, and it makes me so happy. It's so exciting to see. But you can enter our social contest and just hashtag Travefy TC25 and tag us. And then at the end of this week, we are going to pick 3 winners, and you're going to get a swag pack. And it's going to be a really nice swag pack too. So definitely partake in that if you wish. We would love to see your photos. But then also really important too, if you aren't currently a Travefy user, go sign up for a free trial. Get these forms. You can just start a free trial at travefy.com. Get all of that going in there. And again, free 10 days in there. And you can also schedule a demo with our team as well. And then finally, this is the last session for this day, but tomorrow, the next session that'll be coming up is actually really perfect for this. You should probably join, because if you liked this, you're going to get more of it tomorrow. It's workflow magic, and Bonnie's really going to take us through from the beginning of a life cycle of a client in to the end. And so, well, there is no end because you're going to get referrals. You're just going to keep them coming through. But we're going to talk about it in a CRM sense, where we talk about CRM, forms, and invoicing. So make sure you join us for that. And just want to thank you all again for joining us. And we hope to see you back here really soon. See you later.